Hello everyone, welcome. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some architectural drawings, starting off with floor plans, and then moving into 3D. So this is going to be a full series. It's going to take you into everything from modeling things in Rhino to bringing them into Blender, and this is going to be a museum. I've done similar versions to this with previous versions of the software, but we're going to be doing this with Rhino 8, Blender 4 point something or other, and finishing it off in the Unreal Engine 5 point something or other. So I want to do a complete architectural visualization. This is going to be a gallery. I'm using inspiration from other architects. I'm a huge fan of Kengo Kuma, a Japanese architect, and I'm going to be loosely basing some of the structures of this gallery off of his Museum of Wisdom. So it'll take some from it, but it'll still be a completely original design. I'm not going to completely rip it off, but I do like some of the angles and stuff, and so I'll be using some of that stuff. So without further ado, let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is I opened my default template, which is in millimeters, and we are here in the US going to switch this to architectural feet and inches. So I'm going to just do a new drawing here. And I'm going to, when I pop up the new one, my templates come up and I can do large object, inches. Now let's do inches, feet and inches. This one here. Open. Okay. So a couple of things I want to set up first. I want to set up my grid. I'm going to double click into the top view here. Right now, I want to make sure that I have enough grid space to take up the area that I want to be drafting in. So I'm going to go up to the File, Properties, or I believe it's Settings if you have a Mac. And I'm going to go to Grid here. And then I'm going to set my minor grid line spacing at every 36 inches. So every 3 feet. That way I have a nice visualization of it. And then I'm going to set my major grid every... how many minor grid lines? We'll do. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do every 12 inches, so it's a foot, and then I'm going to do major every 6 minor, so every 6 feet. So hit OK, and now when we zoom out, you can see these are going to be every 6 feet, and these are going to be every feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's just a good way of having a nice frame of reference. And then we've got 200 of these, so that gives us 200 major grid lines, which is going to give us quite a bit of area to work with. Great. So the next step is to go ahead and get started drawing this thing. So I'm going to start, this is going to be a 2-story building, so I'm going to do a floor plan of the first story, a floor plan of the second story, and then I'm going to do a roof plan on this one. So let's start off with the ground floor here. So I'm going to do a kind of like a site plan first, just kind of to lay out an area that I'm going to overall have this gallery museum kind of exist in. And I'm going to do roughly 300 feet by maybe 150 feet. So it's going to be kind of a rectangular shape. So let's draw a rectangle. And I'm going to do 300 feet. And then I'm going to do 200 feet. Whoops. Okay. Let's start a little bit. Right. No, let's just go right here. 300 feet, enter. 200 feet, enter. Okay. And then I'll just move it. Maybe with my grid snap on, so that I can have it still be grid snap. Move. Grab it on this little corner here, and I'm going to just kind of place it right there. Okay. Kind of in the middle. Great. So now I'm going to draw the kind of the first building structure. The ground floor, I'm going to do like this small kind of reflecting room. The museum that I'm referencing has this really nice like like a water area. It's very reflective on the bottom floor. I'm going to make that kind of a space just for kind of reflection, but it would also be maybe where the gift shop is and maybe a cafe if this was going to be a real museum. So I'm going to start off with a stairwell, and I'm going to go ahead and draw that. Let's see, I'll do a rectangle with 100 feet. Actually, no, I'm going to do it the other way. So when I do 60 feet, enter 100 feet. Okay, so this is going to be the stairwell that's going to go up to the second floor, and it's going to be like a little landing area at the top here. And then I'm going to do a maybe let's do like 60 feet from the middle here. So I'm going to do a line from the midpoint, 60 feet this way, and click. And just remember, have your snaps on, not the selection filter, but the snaps here, making sure that you've got at least the ones I've got on, so that you're kind of locked in here. And then I'm going to draw a line kind of down here. I'm going to touch over here and kind of drag out here to perpendicular so that I know that I've got it at the same spot here. And then I'm going to move all of this slightly onto the grid so I know that it is kind of in a nice relationship to our grid structure here. Okay. All right, and then this whole area around the stairwell is going to be a water feature, except for the path that leads up to it. So I'm going to make this area all around here water, and then I'm going to also put a little like room right here. So let's draw another rectangle. This one is going to be 60 feet by, let's do 30 feet. Maybe 40 feet. So I can always change these too. I can just left to right select on the little, like when I click on it, it brings up the little points on it. And if I left to right select on this and then shift left to right select on this, I can just grab the gumball here and click on it and go negative 10 feet because the arrow is pointing up. I got to go the opposite direction and it moves it down. Great. So now I've got this kind of structure and I want to move it so it lines up right with the middle point here, and then I'm going to track it to this spot here. Okay, so that's just done by hovering. Let me do that again. So if I go move, enter, click on the midpoint, find the midpoint on my stairwell, and then not click, but just kind of drag out with my smart track turned on. I find that line there. So smart track is this one down here. Of course, gumball is this one here. Make sure you have the gumball on. It's very helpful. Okay, so this is going to be our little room here at the base of the stairs. So most of this part is just going to be kind of creatively looking and thinking about the shapes and stuff that you want to use. Once I get all these lines nailed down as to where they go and kind of get that spatial relationship, that's when I'll start adding offsets for walls and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to continue to kind of explore using the line tool, the shape of my space here. And then I'm going to kind of start to develop some stairs. And this is just very preliminary. I mean, I'm going to do lots of modifications to these. I'm going to make each one of these steps, let's see, 2 feet. And then I've got 40 feet of stairs. So let's go ahead and offset this line. Nope. See if it's all connected, I need to explode it. So click on it. explode. Oh, I exploded the wrong thing. Explode this. 40 feet, so 40 divided by 2, 20 of them. So let's do a array, enter. X direction, which is the red. I'm going to go 20, enter. Y direction 1, and Z direction 1. And then I'm going to click here, and I'm going to type 20 feet. Oh, no, that's the spacing. Sorry, 2 feet. 2 apostrophe, enter. And then click. Cool. And then press enter to accept. Perfect. And then I've got too much overlap happening here, so I'm going to trim, enter, use this as my cutting block, and click all of these. Oops, not that one. Control Z, and I'm still in the command, which is nice. Okay. And I feel like this space needs to be a little bit closer here. So I'm going to just pull it over with my grid snap on to right about here. That's 12 feet. Okay. And that's where I'm going to start my room. And so I'm going to actually just delete this and this. And if your grid snap is also not acting like mine is, make sure you've got your grid snap settings in the properties window set to the same as your minor grid line spacing. So grid snap spacing is at 12, and so is my minor grid line spacing. Make sure that that's set up. It'll make your life way easier. And that'll also keep everything nice and rounded. If you're kind of eyeballing things when you're moving them around, using the grid will ensure that your sizes of your objects are in a good spot when you're doing dimensioning later on. All right. Okay, and then I'm going to switch around a little bit here. I'm going to move these whole objects a little bit over here. I feel like there's just some weird negative space happening. Or weird angles there. And then trim, select this as my cutting object, erase all that, and then extend to here. I don't know why I have to click on these one at a time. Extend those to there. All right. And then this line from here to there. Then trim. Yeah, that's a little bit better, I think. There's just more inside stairs on this one side, and then I can build my second story right on top of this and make it a little bit bigger too, so it uses the negative space on this. Okay, so I'm going to just build my next, my second story here, and I'm going to draw a line maybe right around, let's do this far off here. And then I'm going to extend, or you can actually fillet, which is nice, with a radius of 0, R0, enter, and then click on this, and it'll just create a nice straight line there. And then actually, I think I might mirror, well, I made it all one piece. Let me explode that. Mirror this on the center of, let me draw another line here for a guide. just a line from here to there. So I want to center this next floor on the middle point here. And shift and drag out. Fillet from here to there. Okay, so this is going to give me the shape of my second floor. And I'm going to actually use this line and this, and Alt to copy it up. Oops, dang it. And then finish these out. So this area is going to be like the gallery space where I'm going to have sculptures and wall art and stuff. Then I can get rid of this because these don't belong. Okay, so let's finish off our ground floor by creating our wall offset here. So this is all a rectangle here. I can use the offset command, and I want to go in, and I'm going to set my walls at 10 inches. Okay, if it was like a house model or something, it would have been 6 inches, but I'm kind of figuring like maybe poured in concrete for these walls, so they'll be a little bit thicker. So 10 inches there, that gives me my wall. And that's basically my first floor plan, and I can get rid of this line too. Okay, so it's gonna be all open in here with like these open stairs that go up to the second floor. All right, so that's good enough for the preliminary floor plan on the basic bottom. The next thing I want to do is I actually want to add some hatching to this. So if I select both of these and type hatch, I get some default settings right here, and I'm going to go ahead and do hatch lines. Different types of hatches, but I'm going to do hatch lines. I'm going to do maybe a scale of 10 and a rotation of 30. And let's hit OK. Maybe I need to do more. Let's go ahead and click on this. And then in the properties here, I can do maybe 50. All right, so yeah, that gives us a nice kind of architectural looking hatch there. Yeah, we don't have any doors or anything on this yet, but I'm actually going to add most of that stuff later. I'm just doing this for basic layouts of where the solid objects and blocks are going to be right now. I can make a more permanent architectural plan from the 3D model, which I think is probably the best way to do it. This is just kind of like sketchbook stuff, basically. All right, so the second floor. Okay, we've got... You know what I'm actually going to do also? I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the rise on this is going to be, I want it to be 8 feet. So that's 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's do right here, actually. So I'm going to actually take this area and get rid of... Because I'm going to have it kind of like nested into it. It's weird. It's hard to visualize, but you know, you'll see it when I'm done. Okay, so there's the first floor stairs. Let's copy. Okay. Trim this out. It's not trim. Do not trim. Okay, and the upper floor of this building is going to have like a kind of like an area that you can walk all the way around, and then this is going to be, so I'm going to go ahead and offset this in 10 feet. Actually, let's go ahead and create the walls on the inside, because this is going to be the exterior walls. So let's offset these in, and then create our little mezzanine. So offset 10 for 10 inches. Click on this to there, enter, click here to there, enter, and then this to there. And then we'll fillet to clean up the overlap, because these were not all connected. There's going to be a little bit of overlap. And we just fillet it to clean it up. All right. And then we want to trim out all of the stairs that are kind of passing through here. So trim, select these as cutting objects, and then just I wonder if I can go. Ha, no. Then I'm going to offset. This time I'm going to do, let's do 12 feet. And pull it in this way. Great. And then trim using this. And then trim using this. Oops, no. That's fine. Those are supposed to be there. It's this side. Okay, so this is going to be our large gallery space. We've got the stair that goes up to the second floor here. We've got a little area that goes underneath to get to our little terrace area outside. Upstairs up here, there's this whole area here that's all terrace space. Okay, I've got what looks like a missing line here. So I'll just touch up here, bring it down to right there, and that. Okay. And then I think this is looking good. Let's do our roof plan next. So for the roof plan, all I want to do is I'm just going to offset this exterior wall outward, and I'm going to do 6 feet, enter, click. Then let's go ahead and select this and move it up. Okay, so that's going to be the sides, at least, is going to be like a 6 foot kind of deal there. I probably want to pull the rest of it another 6 feet out. So there's like a 12 foot, or let's make it really drastic, 18 foot kind of overhang here. And then I'm going to explode this and just extend to there. These two, get rid of this, fillet this to this, and this to this. And then hatch these. What was it, 30 I did on the other one? Right? What was this one? 50. Huh, it's weird. It's going the opposite way. Yeah, there. Now they match. All right, so this gives me my little area that I'm going to like use as a resting area. The stairs that go up to the mezzanine here. I'm going to draw a line actually for this part here. And this is all water around it. All water here. And then our roof plan. Okay, so this is the basic sketch. Yes, it might change over time as I kind of look at this thing more, but I'm just going to use this as my basic, and I'm going to go ahead and create a new layout down here. Plus sign, new layout. And I'm going to make it, since this is a huge building, I'm going to do 30 by 42. Let's see. There you go. Architecture E1, landscape. Okay. Now let's set up a few layouts here. So go to view and we'll go to layout, new layout, initial detail count. Oh, wait, sorry. View, new detail view. And I'm going to go ahead and just do one detail view because these are all basically the same. So I'm also going to go back to my drawing here and rotate these so that they're kind of landscape orientation. And then I'm going to click on the exterior of the detail view, and let's see what we can get away with here. Inches on the page equals, let's try a quarter. I doubt this is going to work. No, need an eighth. 1/8. Boy, it's a big museum. Let's do 1/16. Okay, so we're at 1/16 inch scale here. That's a little bit obscene. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a kind of a plot plan of this one. This is going to be our plot plan, and then I'll do the floor plans separately. So let's go ahead over here, and I'm going to scale this in. Oh, does it squeeze it? It shouldn't squeeze it. No, it doesn't. Okay, cool. Then move them over. So double click in here, and then this is my plot. And then I'm going to just Alt, grab it over here. Alt, one more. And then these ones, I'm going to make 1/8 inch equals a foot. 1/8 equals 12. Enter. Okay. And then kind of move these into position. Cool. And then this one, it's going to be a little bit tight, and I might not be able to get my roof plan on here. Let's move all this over here. Yeah, so I can't get my roof plan on here. That's not ideal, but whatever. Roof plan's not as important as the floor plan. And other things we notice here. So our hatches are all messed up. Let's go up to properties and get rid of our hatch scaling. So go to hatch under properties here and get rid of enable hatch scaling. That way it just looks the way it does on both views. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and dimension some stuff. So let's go dim, enter, and click on parts here. Okay, how big are this? I'm going to turn my grid snapping off so it's not going crazy. And then we do inside dimensions on the room here. And I usually like to start kind of right like that. The overall length of the room. If you have a really funky shaped room with a lot of angles and this straight dimension isn't what you want, you can use dim aligned. And that'll tell you like the length of this angled wall here. If I go from there to this point here, you'll see it kind of comes off on an angle there. So the length of the wall might be more important than the overall length of the room for your specific design. Mine, this works better. Okay. Yeah. And you can see because we used grids, most of the stuff actually came out pretty good. This 30-foot 4 3/4 is a little funky, but that's just because the angle of this wall goes back, and I'm sure this dimension is not going to be like a nice even, 49-foot 10, right? And then how big is our offset? 12 feet. So you can see that's a dim aligned there, and it gives me that 12-foot dimension on that angle there. Okay. All right. And then you might want to also improve some of the line weights as well, and label some things, right? So I might just do some text here, and I'm going to do plot plan cap lock. And my height, I'm going to do maybe 0.5. Let's see how this looks. Okay. Plot plan, cool. And then Alt to copy this over. And I'm going to do first floor. Okay. And then Alt second floor. Okay. And then my dimensions are tiny. Yeah, if I printed this out huge, 30 by 42, it would be fine. But I'm going to go back up here and go into our properties here, and then go to our annotation styles, a little drop down here, foot and inches, and I can go to font. My font is set at 0.125. I'm going to go 0.25 and see how that looks. Apply. A little better. Popped it up some. Okay. All right, and then let's do some more labeling here. So text, and now I'm going to do a 0.25 on these, and I'm going to go water. Okay. And kind of just, okay. Alt, copying these over. This one in here, I'm going to change to reflecting lounge. Maybe I gotta. And maybe let's do it centered. Courtyard. Okay. And then I'm just going to kind of copy these back over here too, so that they're on the same thing here. And call this main gal. And you can do like mezzanine and different stuff. I'll do back here. Balcony. Okay. going to select this whole thing and left to right select, grab all of this and move it over. Can I do it? Will it work? I don't know. No. Make sure you move things before. Okay, no, I did move with it. All right, good. Yeah, I just want to make sure all of my naming and stuff moved too. I don't think these did quite right though. But the dimensions moved at least. That's good. All right, so let's go ahead and print display on, so I can see how it's going to look when it's printing. Like, what is this line here? Oh, I see. It's okay. Turn print display off. And that was just to see like how it's actually laid out. Whoops. Off. Okay. Just like this, and let's go ahead and pull it out a little bit. You know, I'm going to get rid of the plot plan. Sorry, plot plan. You are cluttering up my space too much. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and create a little title block for it, and also maybe put in some materials and stuff too. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to draw a rectangle from here all the way around to like there. I'm going to fillet with a radius of 1 inch, and let's do that on all sides here except for that one. And you know what? I'm going to do that one too. Why not? And then I'm actually going to play with the line weights here. And I've done this in lots of other tutorials too, where you basically can change the print width. And I'll do maybe 0.8. And let's put the print display back on. Print display on. Enter. You can see the line's a little thicker there now. And let's click on it again though, because I do want it to be even thicker. Yeah, nice and bold. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to draw a line. Actually, let's go ahead and move both of these over a little bit more there. Okay. Oops, that didn't work. Yeah, it did. Sorry. All right, and then I'll draw a line. And then we'll do a little rectangle here and trim it out. And then we will change this to the same line width, which is 2. Is that? And do a little title block. Call it A1. Actually, let's make the A1 a separate deal because we want to make that bigger, actually, just for, you know, sake of labeling. Okay, yeah, let's make it a little smaller. Yeah, so this is just, you know, a very basic plan, and we will next be taking these details and turning them into a 3D object, and then we'll actually make our final plans based off of the way the 3D object looks. But this is our kind of our sketch. I'd print it up and have it as a reference, and, you know, I can draw on it with, you know, by hand and kind of change things if I want to change shapes of stuff. But I feel like a lot of the exploration of the actual building is going to happen once we break it into 3D, and that's what I'm going to do in the next one. Thank you very much.